Ciao a tutti, come state? Come ogni giorno leggiamo un'altra pagina di questo libro. Let me get comfortable. If you're new to this series on my channel, I am currently, welcome, first of all, and I am currently learning Italian. So what I do is I read about a page every day. Whilst I read through it, I tell you guys what I understand, or whilst highlighting words that I do not understand. And then at the end of the video, I come back with those words translated and give more sense to the story, like actually tell you guys what's going on and not what I just assumed it was, which a lot of the time, if you've watched my previous videos, is not 100% right, but we're getting there. Yes, before we start, I also have a French reading series. I'll keep this short, but French is my mother tongue. If you're interested in learning French, then I suggest you go and watch that series as well. Anyway, let's get into our story because I want to know what happened next. We're already on chapter 2. Woo. So what has happened? Yes. So Luca came home from football. He had Chinese food with his girlfriend Sarah. He was tired, so he just went to bed. But make a note of, if you remember from last video, they were watching a reality show together and he got tired, so he kind of slept off. When he woke up, he found Sarah texting somebody. It's quite late at night because they've both come back from work and had dinner, so it's quite late into the night. And she claims it's a work colleague. And obviously he's tired, so he's not going to question it. He just goes to bed. But I think that's quite important to, just keep at the back of our minds for later. Iniziamo. Ho vissuto migliaia di giornate così, tutte uguali. Sveglia, Sara, lavoro, calcetto, televisione e tante ore a osservare lo schermo del mio cellulare o quello del computer. So he says, I've lived thousands of days like this, all the same. Wake up, Sarah, his girlfriend, work, football, TV. And so many hours looking at the screen of my phone or the screen of the computer. Inevitabilmente non mi sono rimasti grandi ricordi di quegli anni. Inevitably, non mi sono rimasti grandi ricordi. Non mi sono rimasti grandi ricordi di quelli. Something to do with not remembering a big part of those years? I don't know. Maybe he's saying nothing memorable happened during those years. Niente che mi bagni gli occhi di felicità, ma nemmeno che mi faccia infuriare. È come se quegli anni fossero una specie di nuvola grigiastra, senza episodi da imprimere nella memoria. Niente che mi bagni gli occhi di felicità. Ma nemmeno, without an episode imprinted in my memory. Quando era iniziato questo vuoto esistenziale? I think it's a question. Quando era iniziato questo vuoto esistenziale? When did this existential crisis start? I don't know what vuoto is. Maybe it's crisis. Quando era iniziato questo vuoto esistenziale? Forse alla mia firma su quel contratto a tempo indeterminato? O quando andai a vivere con Sara? Poi arrivo, quel giorno di fine settembre. Un giorno che prese il via come tanti altri, ma che si rivelò al tempo stesso la fine e l'inizio di tutto. So when did this existential crisis become? Maybe at my workplace, when I got my permanent job, or maybe when I went to live with Sarah. Then arrived this day at the end of September. Un giorno che prese il via come tanti altri. Un jour qui presse la vie. A day that rushes life. a day that rushes life like others. Ma che si rivelo? Ma che si rivelo al tempo stesso alla fine? Ma che si rivelo al tempo stesso? Si rivelo. Uno squarcio profondo nella tela della mia vita. Uno squarcio profondo nella tela della mia vita. Il fiocco di neve che cade innocuo nella mia quotidianità e che sarebbe diventato, nel giro di poco tempo, una valanga in grado di travolgere qualsiasi certezza. I'm not sure what everything means here, but I get the sense that he's talking about a snowflake that has become, over time, an avalanche that's about to fall or something. Travolgere qualsiasi certezza. Anche quel giorno iniziò con il suono della sveglia alle... I really need to check the time. Let me try. Anche quel giorno iniziò con il suono della sveglia alle 6:15. Tutto proseguì nella norma, come sempre, finché arrivarono le 12:07 e fu come se l'universo mi avesse lanciato un salvagente, anche solo per vedere se avrei continuato ad affondare nell'apatia o avrei trovato il coraggio di salvarmi. So he's saying, also this day started with the alarm of 6:15. So he's saying his life is still the same. Everything proceeded as normal, like always, finché arrivano. Finally, maybe he says 12:07 arrived, e fu come se l'universo mi avesse lanciato un salvagente, anche solo per vedere se avrei continuato ad affondare nell'apatia o avrei trovato il coraggio di salvarmi. I think he's saying, finally, at 12:07, it's like the universe threw something at me, mi avesse lanciato un salvagente. I think un salvagente is like, you know, like someone's drowning in water, you'll throw them a life jacket or the life thing. the life bubble, you know, the round thing. Yeah, you know, I'll put a picture if you don't know, but yeah, something to save him, anche solo per, and only to see if I will continue to maybe drown in my pity, nell'apatia, like stay pitiful, or find the courage to save myself. Buongiorno, disse qualcuno a gran voce. This is not Portuguese. Gran voce. Buongiorno, disse qualcuno a gran voce mentre stavo parlando al telefono con un'anziana signora che non riusciva a effettuare una ricarica telefonica per la nipote attraverso l'home banking. So someone says buongiorno with a big voice, mentre at the same time that I was speaking on the phone with un'anziana, an Indian lady? Anziana. I don't want to assume. I don't know. That was not able to d'effectuer. Elle n'arrivait pas à effectuer. She wasn't able to get una ricarica, recharge telephone per la nipote. This lady couldn't do something through the home banking app and she needed help. Mi girai, so he turned himself, mi girai infastidito e vedi un uomo alto e rotondo, con indosso una ridicola salopette di jeans. So he turns around, infastidito must be maybe angry or annoyed, and he saw a man who was tall, erontondo, is it, I don't know, shaved or like wide, con indosso una ridicola, who was wearing a ridiculous pair of jeans, salopette. I know what it is in French, but I'm not sure if it's the same in Italian. Aveva un cappellino in testa con sopra ricamato il nome di una ditta. Aveva un bel sorriso e occhi piccoli e azzurrissimi incastonati in un volto rosseo e paffuto. Scusi, signora, mi concede solo un secondo, grazie, dissi alla cliente prima di rivolgermi bruscamente a quello strano personaggio. Salve, chi è lei? Sono Ubaldo, lavoro per la ditta che ristruttura gli uffici, rispose lui pacifico. E allora? Maybe he wasn't that rude, but... E allora? Devo sostituire alcune scrivanie e installare alcuni pezzi di arredamento. Don't even know. Arredamento. Sostituire must be to replace desks and install alcuni pezzi. I don't know what that is. Di arredamento. Ok. Ma proprio ora? Sì. Cercherò di fare poco rumore, disse con un'espressione rilassata. So Luca, our main character, is on the phone and he tells this signora, excuse me, just 1 minute. Then he turns around, bruscamente, like quickly, like brusquement. What are you doing? And he turns and he goes, salve, which I learned from my time in Italy is a formal greeting. I remember I was sitting with one of my friends and one of her friends came and I said, salve, and they both laughed. I didn't understand why. It's because you don't say salve to your friends or to someone in an informal setting. You'll say it to someone in the workplace, a teacher maybe that you're not close to. Yeah, you don't say that to your friends. Anywho, he politely greets this guy and he's like, who are you? He says, I'm Ubaldo. I work per la ditta, for the person or for the company that is restructuring gli uffici, the offices. And Luca's like, and? Okay, and? E allora? E allora? Ubaldo says, I have to replace the desks and install alcuni pezzi di arredamento. I don't know what that is. Luca says, but you have to do this right now? Ubaldo's like, sì, cercherò di fare poco rumore. We'll look to not make too much noise. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what rumore is. Disse con un'espressione rilassata. He says with an expression, but I don't know what rilassata is, so I don't know what that expression is. Va bene, ma noi qui stiamo lavorando e per favore, gli dissi con un tono severo. Con un tono severo. Let me do that again. Va bene, ma noi qui stiamo lavorando e per favore. I think that was a bit better. Qualche minuto dopo, quel tale Ubaldo tornò di fronte alla mia scrivania tenendo sotto il braccio un impallaggio di cartone sottile, largo e lungo, parecchio voluminoso. Le dispiace se lo lascio qui? Mi chiese sottovoce. Interruppi nuovamente la conversazione telefonica con l'anziana cliente. L'ancienne cliente. L'anziana is not Indian. L'anziana is old client. E gli risposi di sì con espressione esasperata. He says a few minutes later he's had this conversation with Ubaldo. Ubaldo comes back holding a bunch of carton, like long and volume, like that have volume under his arms, and he says to Luca, sorry, can I leave these here? And like Ubaldo just interrupted his phone call again with this old client, like ancien, old time client. So Luca gives him like a nod with his face, but he's like exasperated. He's like, yes, just leave it here. Just let me do my job, please. Leave me alone. Ok. Ubaldo annui e per scusarsi mimo il gesto di fare silenzio con l'indice davanti alle labbra. Ubaldo agrees, and before he leaves, like to excuse himself, he like puts his finger in front of his mouth to mimic being silent, like, yeah, I'll be quiet. That is so annoying. Anyway, we're going to stop here today. I'm going to go and get the translations of the words, and then I'll come back and tell you guys what they mean. Okay, I have the translations here. Non mi sono rimasti grandi ricordi di quegli anni. I don't have any great memories of those years. Mi bagni gli occhi. Ah, I thought so. Nothing that makes me cry of happiness. Here, mi bagni gli occhi is get my eyes wet. Nothing that's made me so happy that I cry, basically. Ma nemmeno, but neither that make me mad. So nothing that's made me happy, but nothing that's made me mad. He's just like in a stagnant state. Fossero they were. È come se quegli anni fossero una specie di nuvola, and as if these years were grigiastra, greyish, senza episodi da imprimere nella memoria. Yeah, as if these years were greyish with nothing to imprint or stick in my memory. Vuoto. Vuoto is empty. Quando era iniziato questo vuoto esistenziale? This empty existence. When does this empty existence start? Existential emptiness. When did this emptiness start? Poi arrivo quel giorno di fine settembre. Then that day of September arrived. Oh, I feel like now it's leading up to something. I'm very excited for tomorrow's reading. Un giorno che prese il via. A day that began come tanti altri, like all the others. Si rivelo as it turned out at the same time. La fine, l'inizio, blah blah. Uno squarcio, a gash, profondo nella tela, in the canvas della mia vita. Okay, this story is getting interesting. I get it. Wait. So Luca says, when did this emptiness, this existential emptiness begin? Maybe it was when I started working, when I got my permanent job, or when I went to live with Sarah. Then that day at the end of September arrived. Okay, arrived, yeah. A day that began like all the others, but turned out at the same time to be the start of everything. A deep gash in the canvas of my life. The snowflake that, I don't remember, Cadde, innocuo, that fell harmlessly dans mon quotidien, in my everyday, and that would become the turn in a little time, of little time. That would become, in a short amount of time, the avalanche in grado di travolgere qualsiasi certezza. In a short amount of time, this snowflake of whatever this event is, the snowflake that would soon turn into the avalanche of overwhelming uncertainty. of overwhelm and uncertainty. All I got from that is something interesting is about to happen in my boy's life. Come on, Luca. Un salvagente is a lifesaver. Nell'apatia is in empathy. Un'anziana is an old woman. Una ricarica, a refill. Recharger, recargar, something in Spanish. La nipote, the grandson. Okay. Infastidito, annoyed. Rotondo, yeah, round. So he was this ubaldo, is tall and round. Salopete, dungarees. I didn't even know that word in English. Per la ditta, for the company, yep. Sostituire, substitute, that's what we thought. Alcuni pezzi di arredamento. Alcuni pezzi di arredamento. Some pieces of furniture. Rumore, noise. Rilassata, relaxed. Quel tale, that guy. L'anziana cliente, the elderly customer. Okay, so now that we've moved on to the second chapter, we're going to stop here for today, but now that we've got into this second chapter, Luca is starting to tell us about what's going on in his life. So at this point, Luca is narrating as if he's writing about his past, and now he's about to let us into something that changed the course of his life. His life was boring, repetitive, always the same, but something that we haven't got to yet, that is about to happen, that he's setting the scene for, is about to change that. I'm excited for that. It's time for something to happen in Luca's life, you know. It sounds a bit boring at the moment. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I leave all the definitions of the words I highlighted under the video in the description box below. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to send me a DM on Instagram or comment it down below. I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I'll see you in the next video. Grazie, ciao.